Good morning. Happy Friday. How is everybody? Still a beautiful day here in Northern Illinois. It's always, right around Thanksgiving is usually when the weather changes dramatically around here. Maybe this year is not going to be the year. I don't know about you. I'm a big fan of global warming. It helps my area. We get warmer. It's great. So, why is it that C students can teach you more than A students? Why is it that C students many times turn out to be the entrepreneurs? They turn out to be the ones that start their own businesses. Well, there's an old story that sometimes is told in AA circles. Story is guy falls into a hole and he's yelling and yelling and yelling, and all day long people are walking by and nobody knows what to do. They look down, they see him in the hole, and nobody knows what to do. So it's getting to be night. He's getting nervous, sun setting. All of a sudden, this guy comes walking up and says, I know what to do. And he jumps into the hole. So now the first guy who was already in the hole looks at the second guy who just jumped in and said, what are you doing? Now we're both in the hole. And the second guy says, yeah, but I know the way out. So whatever it is that you're struggling with, the person that you want to talk to is somebody who's struggled with the same thing or has been around it enough that they can understand what you're going through for a host of reasons. Number one, because they have credibility that they've done it, right? If you want financial independence, you need to be talking to somebody who's created their own financial independence. Anybody can read a book and regurgitate the book, but you need that special knowledge called experience. If you want to gain lightness, we shouldn't call it losing weight because your brain doesn't like it when you lose something. If you want to gain lightness for the rest of your life, then find somebody who was once heavy and has gained lightness and has kept it off. Not just did it for a period of time, but has kept it off. And I'm not talking about taking some drug, and I'm talking about figured out how to reprogram themselves and change their relationship with food and make it nutrition and not love or respect or whatever. And that's all you really need to do. If you want to be in great physical shape, find somebody who wasn't in great physical shape and got themselves into great physical shape or has energy. You want to find somebody that's got, you want relationship advice, you should be talking to somebody who's been able to develop great relationships in their life. Otherwise, what do they know? Now, the person that's had one relationship and has been perfect right from the beginning, that's the A student. How much are they going to be able to teach you? Probably not a lot. They can teach you some, but we don't learn from our successes. We learn from our failures. The person that can teach you the most about how to gain lightness and stay there is probably the person that struggled with it the most. Same with physical health, same with financial independence, same with relationships. The person that it didn't go smoothly from the beginning, that had to figure things out, that had to work at it, is the person that can teach you the most. The C students become the entrepreneurs for a host of reasons, some of which is they don't get the same offers and opportunities as the A students. But a lot of it is their approach. In order to get an A, they had to learn different things. They had to crawl. They had to work harder. They had to claw. They had to do stuff in order to try and get there. Most of the time, the A students showed up and they got an A. They didn't have to put forth any effort. That carries through then into the real world because all of a sudden, when things don't go perfectly, the A student can have a tendency to crumple, whereas the C student will strive through it. So I didn't start out getting good grades. I started out getting average grades and then taught myself how to get good grades. As a consequence, I can teach you a lot about how to manage that process. I had a weight issue in the middle of my life. I didn't have a weight issue when I was young, but then I got heavy in my 40s and I had to learn how to lose that weight and keep it off. So that's an area that I have experience in. So it's an area that I can pass on. So when you're looking for a coach, and you should all have coaches, everybody should have a coach. And you can call it a coach, you can call it a therapist, you can call it whatever you want, but you need to have somebody because you can't see your own swing. If you want to accelerate in life, certain things will accelerate you quicker. Listening to things, doing daily practice, immersion, going to any type of event that you're immersed in the knowledge of that event. I love doing that. I'd be in an event every weekend if it was up to me. And having coaches. because we can't see our own swing. And the person being able to look at us and just say, hey, this is what you're doing. Now, the coach doesn't necessarily have to be knowledgeable in all of these areas in terms of experience, because they have training as to how to communicate with you what you're doing and not doing, and they know the patterns, which is really all a coach needs. You know, for a therapist to be able to help somebody who is suicidal because of a sexual trauma, the therapist doesn't need to have experienced that sexual trauma or a similar sexual trauma, because they know the systems that can help that person get past that. You don't have to have suffered from PTSD to help somebody with PTSD. So that's a difference. So if you want, you know, a mentor is somebody that's gone through the trials and tribulations. Coaches know patterns, and you give them authority to act in certain ways with you and to use those patterns and certain skills and tools in order to help you get to the next step. You know, the definition of coaching is to move somebody forward. That's what you're doing. You're moving somebody forward, moving them in a new direction, moving them in the direction that they want to go, creating accountability and pushing them forward. So when you're out there looking for people to help you along your journey, mentors are people that have gone through the struggles. Whatever it is you're trying to do, it's somebody that's been there, done that, and can help guide you through that process. Coaches are people that actually have training and coaching and know systems to help you get past certain blocks, whatever those blocks may be. Those are two completely different things. Therapists are like coaches. They've been trained in systems. The reason I go to coaching instead of therapy is because coaching is quicker. Therapy is non-direct coaching, whereas coaching, you're giving somebody the opportunity as well as the permission to be direct. And instead of saying, well, how does that make you feel? Well, how does that make you feel? They can look at you and say, look, this is what you're doing, and this is why this is screwing you up. So you can keep doing that if you want, but it's going to keep screwing you up. If you want to go in a different direction, go in a different direction. And here's how to do that. Coaches are given the authority to do that. So find the people that can help you. And it's so amazing now with technology. I mean, this used to be a real problem. I mean, finding a mentor used to be really, really, almost an art form. You had to find somebody that could help you. You had to learn how to get close to them. You had to learn how to, create value in their lives. Now all you have to do is get on YouTube. But remember, when you're watching YouTube, watch the people that have gone through it. Watch the people that have had their struggles and have figured out how to come out on the other side. And then when they're talking to you, they got to make sense. If what they say doesn't make, because there's more than one way to get to a specific outcome. Financial independence, there's a ton of different ways to get to financial independence. You got to pick the one that resonates with you. Physical health, energy, physical vibrancy. Again, there's a bunch of different ways to do that. You have to figure out what works for you. So when you're talking to these people that have been there, done that, if what they say doesn't resonate, then find somebody else. Find the one that resonates. You need to be able to feel it when they say it and go, that makes sense. That makes sense. I get that. I feel confident that this is going to create the outcomes that I'm looking for. Hope that makes sense to you guys. Good morning. I'm going to say good morning to everybody. Mr. Drew Hobel down in Florida. Great to see you always, brother. Valerie, great to see you. Jacqueline, I'm so honored that you're on. And Deanne, great to see you too. Hope you guys have an awesome day. I am super honored when people take the time to watch. Can't say enough. We're all in this together. Let's take care of each other.